Kylie Jenner's face has morphed so dramatically that even AI analysis can quantify the shock. We ran facial analysis on old photos of teenage Kylie versus her current look, and the numbers don't lie. Her beauty score skyrocketed from a decent 7 out of 10 in her younger years to a striking 8 out of 10 today. Faces don't typically level up by nearly a full point without some help. This isn't a natural glow-up. It reads like a calculated makeover engineered to perfection. Consider Kylie's face shape and jawline, the literal framework of her face. The analysis categorized young Kylie's face as an oval shape. Fast forward to now, and that same tool pegs her face shape as square, one of the most very appealing shapes by modern beauty standards. Let that sink in. Her face geometry actually changed. Normally, an oval face doesn't just turn square without surgical sculpting or hefty fillers. Yet here we are. Her once average chin length is now rated small, a top beauty asset. In plain terms, her chin appears shorter and daintier relative to her other features, dialing up the delicacy of her profile. You don't just magically wake up with a more petite chin. Shaving down a chin or artfully injecting fillers under the jaw are the kinds of interventions that achieve that look. It's as if her jawline was narrowed and refined to fit an Instagram filter ideal. A transformation tough to imagine happening from mere weight loss or aging. The lip metamorphosis is even more glaring. Kylie's lips went from a bottom-heavy shape in her teens, translation, her lower lip was much fuller than her thin upper lip, to plump, full lips all around today. The analysis praises her current full lips as a notable beauty highlight, a feature she simply did not have naturally. We all remember her early photos, a cute smile but thin lips, especially the top lip. Now she's got that trendy pillow lip look. Kylie herself eventually admitted to getting lip fillers, and the result is written all over her face. Literally. The analysis verdict confirms what the public saw. You don't go from paper-thin to voluptuous lips without syringes of filler. The change was so stark it sparked the infamous Kylie Jenner lip challenge online. So when we see the algorithm classifying her lips entirely differently now, it's just scientific validation of the obvious. Her pout is a product. Even Kylie's eyebrows tell a story of artificial enhancement. The analysis shows that young Kylie had relatively sparse brows, a weak point in her beauty profile. Back in the early 2010s, she sported that skinny brow look. Not a surprise, since that was the style then. But fast forward to today, and her brows are dense, full, and expertly arched. The analysis now flags her thick brows as a subtle highlight of her beauty. That kind of 180 doesn't just happen on its own. It looks like she jumped on the bold brow trend with a vengeance. Think microblading, tinting, and penciling to completely redesign her eyebrow shape and density. She basically went from sparse teen brows to rich Instagram brows, transforming her entire eye area. This wasn't puberty, it was a plan. Kylie's team knows that framed full brows make the eyes pop, and clearly they made sure she got them. Speaking of eyes, even their shape seems to have shifted. The analysis notes young Kylie had a desirable almond-shaped eye, whereas now her eyes appear more round, a trait the algorithm actually counts as a slight negative. It's ironic. In a time when many influencers chase fox eye lifts and cat eye looks, Kylie's eyes somehow grew more doll-like. Perhaps it's an illusion from big doll-like lashes, or maybe a brow lift that opened her eyes wider. It's hard to say, but it's one of the few areas where the analysis suggests a less ideal turn. Still, the overall impression of her gaze is larger and more striking than before, which might be the effect she was going for. Subtle trade-offs to make her eyes look bigger in photos, even if it meant losing that natural almond shape. In any case, it's another unmistakable sign that every inch of her face has been tweaked, one way or another. One of the few things that didn't drastically change was Kylie's nose, but even that has a story. The analysis rated her nose tip as pointed and her nose width small when she was young, meaning she naturally had a pretty refined nose to begin with. Those features remain strengths in her current profile, so at least in terms of the numbers, her nose was always camera-ready. Still, side-by-side photos show a subtly sleeker bridge and tip now, sparking endless rumors she had a nose job. If she did, it was a conservative tweak. The algorithm still sees basically the same petite nose that teenage Kylie had. In other words, her nose might be one of the only things she didn't feel the need to overhaul completely, or she was very careful to keep the changes minimal. It's telling that the features she was born with that already scored high, like her nose, got left mostly as is, while others that lagged, like chin, lips, brows, were targeted for enhancement. The bottom line, Kylie's face today checks almost every box of the Instagram beauty ideal. Fuller lips? Check. Refined chin and jaw? Check. High-arched dense brows? Check. Flawless skin and striking eyes? Check. None of these happened by accident. The analysis lays out the blueprint of her makeover, and it reads like a list of cosmetic enhancements one by one. This isn't to deny Kylie's effort. On the contrary, it shows how much effort and likely procedures went into engineering the perfect Kylie we see now. The changes go well beyond what normal aging or makeup can do. We're basically looking at a human doll sculpted over years, feature by feature, until the face in the mirror became unrecognizable from the girl next door she once was. And while some fans still cling to the idea that it's all just puberty and contouring, the hard data says otherwise. In the battle of nature versus nurture, or rather, nature versus needles, the receipts are in, and Kylie Jenner's transformation was undeniably enhanced. The controversy isn't in whether she looks amazing, she does. It's in how she got there. And if these analysis numbers prove anything, it's that beauty, at least in Kylie's case, is very much engineered. Which celebrity do you want to analyze next? Curious about your own facial aesthetics? Then visit pinkmirror.com.